welcome back to Something Else Amiga. What do we have on the show today? Today we got Mr. James D's Amiga 600, and this is a 1.5. It's going to have the 205 kickstart, gives you the crappy little tiny hard drive. He even packed it inside a box of a box, made his own custom A600 container box. He also sent me a mouse pad he said he made, and I appreciate that a lot. My favorite computer. So we're going to sit that right here, and I'm going to put my drink on top of it. I was just cleaning up, filled up the old alcohol bottle from the 100 proof stuff that Mr. Hooper gave me. I thank you for that also. So I'm repairing the system, cleaning up a leaky cap mess, and I'm selling my Furia to him because I don't use my Furia. I hate the dang on thing. Works good when it works, and then I can't stand it. So perfect for this one. It's stock 600, and he really wanted it, so I said, you know what? I'll cut you a really, really good deal. And if you can, give me the newest copy of the WHD load. I'm going to include a power supply because he doesn't have one, and an ID adapter or a CF card that he provided. He also tossed in his own PCM-CIA, but I think he tossed it in there by accident. But I'll make sure it works, and we'll go through that mess. Now with the Furia, you got the weird thing where you gotta control Amiga for 3 seconds to boot it into a 4 meg mode, so you have PCM-CIA access. If you have it in the 8 meg or greater mode, it does 9.5 total I think, plus your RAM, you won't have PCM-CIA access. So just remember that. It's a pain in the butt. And possibly toss a mouse in. If I have it, I'll have to dig around the piles. I have a bunch of them. So I've already taken out the little thingamabobbers. And the case is in really good condition, minus one rust zit right here. The motherboard in question has a removed cap at C239 where it either fell off, rotted off, or whatever. You can see it right there. It looks pretty nasty. We're going to take the modulator out too, because that stinks and we don't have a need for it. So this thing's got more stains on it than Monica Lewinsky's dress.
Damn right.
So I'm going to have to really go through and cut these out. Got to watch out for these cans, because those are the part for the video mofo right here. And we got a really low 2.5 IDE connector. So I'm going to have to get another ROM out of the box, because this is a 205 ROM and the Furia needs a 3.1 or better. Now I'm going to test this first because, like I said, this thing's got more stains than Monica Lewinsky's dress. It has had some work done that I don't even know about. Wow. That's kind of scary. Keyword is looking. You might want to invest in the 1 meg belly board for this bad boy. That way you can get your RAM. There's spider webs in here. Got your two behind the keyboard connector. We're going to pop the riser off, Lorena those out. Get all the through holes out first, the 3, and then we'll start removing the caps. And let's take a look at my Furia here. So if you haven't seen my Furia before, I did a couple nightmare videos on it. And then I bought the A630 and stuck this mofo back in the box. I put a fan on mine because she ran so hot. This was the 40. This is the 2020 version, Lotharek.pl. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a great little device for what it is, but it's just so damn picky. I went through, I think, 30 compact flash cards or SD cards and all sorts of hoopla. I don't know if this SanDisk is going to even work with it. We're going to have to play with it and find out. This is my programmer for it. This does have the latest firmware, which made it 3.14 at the time compatible. In this bag, I just removed the user provided their floppy drive. It's an FZ354 Chinon, made in Japan. Interesting. I think this is actually a PC floppy drive. As far as hard drives and stuff, I'm not worried about any of that stuff just yet. We're in VGA. I'm just going to hit it. It has no we got a low high. It's going to take a second to give me the kickstart screen. Kickstart 2. There we go. So we know the unit works. Thank the Lord, because I don't feel like repairing another thing. I know I have a lot of them to do. It's 6:21. I had the VPN into work for an hour to help somebody out. We're going to test the memory. We have 1 mega chip because the belly slot is not there. Alright. 5.3, good enough. Man, this girl definitely needs a cap job. Smells like your girlfriend just ran 5 miles, didn't take a shower, and hopped on you. CIA. It smells like tuna fish on a hot summer day with wet cardboard and Wheaties cereal with the 500 hertz sine wave. I'm going to do a left channel and a right channel. So what you're looking for here on this is left channel. Make sure it's the same volume. They're pretty close. The caps will fix that. I'm going to grab El Presidente here. This is a Furia EC020. I've done videos on it in the past. You basically slap this thing on top of 68,000 like so. I got one plastic peg right here. It's a plastic screw-in peg with a little nut on it. That'll help hold it into don't warp around position. I'm using the GPIO or the programmer rail for the Furia for a 5 volt and ground. So this will simply snap over top of this. You really got to give her the hammer. Now if this works, the fan will come on. Fan will come on. Now what we'll do is we'll have a workbench disk 9 megs of RAM, and it ain't gonna help the chip RAM, but 8 megs of fast and 1 meg of chip. Now if you get the 2 meg add-on board for your belly slot here, you'll get 2 megs of chip RAM, and this will give you 9 megs of fast RAM. Right, 9 megs of fast, 1 meg of chip. If I was to put the user's PCMCIA card in here and I had a DOS driver for it, it would not work. I can't do it because I don't have a keyboard. You control Amiga for 3 seconds, maybe 4. Let go. It reboots into a 4 meg mode. You can control the tools with this, the FPU, the cache. There's a little disc that I'll give to him that has the Furia tune, and it gives you the onions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put sysinfo in here. So I'm going to say speed. EC020, 882. You're thinking, that's what the Amiga has. 36 megahertz. You get that chip RAM in there, it's a little faster. I think mine was 37 and some change. So it's already 12 times faster than its original self. Boards, you're going to see the 8 meg Zorro board, the 8 meg fast, 1.5 slow, and 1 chip. You can get a lot of RAM in a Furia. Great games machine. You know, 36 to 40 megahertz. And I have a fan on it. Now, what I suggest when you put this in your machine, watch your cable, because you don't want to start chewing your cable as you file down the memory. I always gave it the Thailand tuck. Tuck it back this way, and it'll just go right on by. It's like really close, but it just works. Or take the fan off and let her roast. Doesn't matter to me. I put the fan on there. I just squish the heat sinks together, and there you go. So the Furia works. Now I have to take all this apart. We know it works with Workbench 2, this kickstart. Now the problem is with this kickstart is this 40 pin ROM is going to limit your hard drive size. That Zeb hard drive image, I believe, is slightly larger. Hey, man, this board was stinking, and these girls right here were leaking bad. There was a fish smell. And of course, all these were just leaked and rotten and nasty. Haven't even debraded the pads yet. I gotta alcohol this mess up. There's electrolytics everywhere. I took the little thing off to help me get to the back caps, and when I touched them, they fell off. Like literally fell off. They were rotted out. So didn't even have to Lorraine the crap out of stuff. A couple of the good ones. The rest of them were already broken off, and they just kind of fell out. So I'm gonna IPA with the 100 proof and scrub a little bit of this goop away. Whew. Gosh, they got dingleberries and all. Alright, so I texted Mr. James. and asked him if he wanted me to remove the modulator. The reason you want to remove this is because if you're going to use an RGB to HDMI, right here on Denise, and the Furia is big, so you have to have that little slim board, and then you're going to want to shoot the HDMI out here. Usually the Raspberry Pi, like mine, sits right around here, and you're good to go. Yeah, they're so rotten. God, this is horrid. Horrible, horrible. It's going to take me a while to clean this one up. Like, these were bad. Like, bad. Ugh. I like his 100-proof stuff. I like that squirt bottle. Thank you, Mr. Hooper. Yeah, they're under there. They're just way deep. And I got this stupid coil in the way. Whew. So you can see here, we're going to gaze into this area right here. That's a small pizza. See those decoupling caps right there near that ring? This coil right here? Well, they were buried underneath acid. As are these. They're there, but they're like deep. And I gotta use some heat and scrubbing and flux and scrub and braid and take your time. You gotta take it off little bits at a time. I can't just heat the crap out of it and expect it to come off instantly. No. Alright, well, I'm pulling acid out of here like whatever, electrolytics out of this bad boy. So I'm gonna get this nasty turd all cleaned up the best I can, and I'll report back. It's currently 6:53 p.m. Crap, I gotta show you the goop coming out of this thing. Looks like somebody shot a turd on it. I am pulling this RF modulator area out. It's like somebody took a dump on it. There's like lines of crap. That's disgusting. Okay, so it is 7:45 p.m. We got her all cleaned up, all the goop. Some of these were really rough, black as coal. Had to scrub them and scrape them and pray to J Minor and ask spiritual guidance from Dave Haney and all that mess. Anyway, just joking around, I scrubbed, scraped, fluxed, debraided, alcohol again and again and again and again, and everybody's happy. Didn't lose any pads. There is one trace break. I don't know if you're going to see it. It's right here on this top mofo. Center your screen, right where that little wire goes into the pad to your, this way, where the fat finger is. That little trace and that pad right there. I got to bump those together. I'm pretty sure that's for the component or the composite video RF modulator, and it's not even needed. But I'm going to fix it anyway because you never know. Everything came out, even behind the keyboard, nice and clean. Didn't lose a single trace pad. And yes, we used Lorena. You just got to be careful, know what you're doing. Don't go in there Rambo, said it 100 times. That's just the way I do it. You can bitch and complain all you want, but you're not here doing it. We're good on caps. I'm going to take a breather tonight. My eyeballs hurt. I've breathed in enough fish-smelling capacitor electrolytic smoke of flux death to rid me of 10 years of my life. So I'm going to recoup, and then we'll recap it tomorrow once I get home from the salt mines. See you in a second. It's 7:47 p.m. and now I have to go do my shipments for the evening. Hello, 8:29 p.m. the next evening. Ran out of power yesterday. So 19 caps. I was wrong in my count. I said 17 because a couple of them were falling off here. We had some really crusty crap. Took me a better part of a couple hours to flux dig, braid, scrape, alcohol, repeat. Not excessive heat for too long. There was one broken trace on C239, but since we're removing the modulator, I don't really need these 3 100 caps, but the owner said he might put it back in. I don't know, he wanted it back, so no big deal. Respect your wishes. Put your caps in for you. You don't need these, nor that 47R resistor there, but there you go. Okay, so we're done with the recap. That's step 1. Step 2 is to clean up my work area. Heard a floppy click. Booting it. Bingo! Off a floppy. I can use my new mouse pad he sent me. Here's that modulator. Alright, so we're done. Let's do an audio test. You know what? Hell with it. Spaceball, state of the art. That'll test the disc. That'll test audio too. That works for me. I had to turn it down because it's getting late and family's upstairs doing homework, and I'll crank it up for just a second. It's pretty loud. Okay, so the audio is really loud, and we don't need to keep cranking that up. I love how this thing really oozes your disk drive. If you've never seen state of the art on a floppy disk, and if you still have a floppy disk, give it a run. It's really a neat way they do that. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. This FZ354 Chinon. The next step the owner would like me to do, somehow I'm supposed to take this and magically stick it on here like that. Somehow. He even wrote Amiga 600, presuming this card's even going to work in a Furia. Good luck with that. Anyway, I'm going to have to now buy a cable because I don't have a 2.5 inch 44 pin cable. So yet another delay. Great.
Hell no!
And then I have to put the Furia on here, which means first I gotta get a 3.1 ROM out of the old bucket that I don't have. So I have to find one that I can erase, that I can program to get the Furia on 3.1. So the WHD-Lo games will have all their crap they need. Not only it works on Workbench 2, plus 2.05 doesn't give you the hard drive size that I need on here. I'll be back. It's late, 8:39. I just spent the past couple hours recapping this thing, and I gotta go to the grocery store. Yep, life happens, you know. Even Prime's 2-day. Yep, it's Wednesday. I want to get this booger done and out of here, because I got 14 more after this one a couple days later. I got an IDE cable for this thing on the old Amazonian. And I'm programming 3.1 because this image of the WHD load is not doing its thing. So, I'm going to try, while this is programming that ROM, to carefully let this thing go. And I'm going to put in the Amiga Vision, formerly known as Mega AGS. Now, I just wrote the HDF file. I don't know if it's going to work. Mega AGS. I need the secondary drive. Can't open the screen because it doesn't have enough RAM. I can't hit escape because I'm trying to run Opus, and Furia lets itself go. Hi Furia, how are you doing? Owner provided a 32 gig card that he wrote Amiga 600 on, and I had it formatted anyway. So this is the Zeb image, and this actually works. It takes a second. But because we didn't have 3.1, the keyboard, I can't mount this hard drive type because it doesn't support the hard drive. Or the
You know the thing.
You know the thing. The ROM. Gosh. ROM doesn't support the hard drive thing. So we're gonna pop that out. At least the Amiga works fine. It's the frustrating Furia. 3.1. Now, if you're worried that I'm stealing this ROM, I'm not. I have my 3.1 key, which I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but it's an Amiga Forever 3.1 upgrade with a key, and it's a sticker, and that's going to go on the ROM if I can ever get it burnt correctly. Machine's done. Machine works. Floppy drive works. Furia works. Configuring this, I'm just doing as a favor. But I don't have a keyboard. He don't have a mouse or a power supply, so I'm going to hook him up with that. Let's see who interrupts the show today. It's Mr. Keith from Canada. Keith R. He's in the middle of diagnosing circuit boards on an Amiga 2000. That's green screening, just like my Rev 4 of Lightning Hell. Okay, this says done. Let's test it out. Here we do. I see 3.1. Yes, it helps if you byte swap your ROMs in the right direction. Furia is picky, so your results may vary, but it is loading. Has a little light. Now we will see the WHD load partition. We should have seen it. There it is. DH2 non-DOS. Well, freaking honk my hooter. Let's see if I can read the README now. I can. Oh no, you need Kickstart 314 if Workbench locks up. Okay, that's okay. I've created this with Kickstart 314. PS, F the Tory government. Clown tard. Good word with yourself. I don't know what that means. Make AGS looks better. Can't open screen. I have a mouse. This is a mouse game. I'm going to click through the menus. It's working. That works. The game saves don't. And I can't load the damn Mega AGS for some reason. I think it needs a weird screen mode. The Zeb thing also works. But the WHD load partition is some 314 thing. I want to see if I can load HD Toolbox on it and see at least what it says, and maybe I'll rewrite the image or grab a newer one. Now we have nothing because it's PFS3 probably. I'm going to have to rewrite this image, but I got to go to a school event, so I will check back in a bit. 6 o'clock on Thursday? Thursday. Hi, welcome back to my Furia Hell for the last damn time. I'm selling this thing with this. It's really picky, and I forgot how picky it was. It's kind of okay if you leave it on Workbench 3.1, so I got Zeb's image here, but it's being picky again. And it won't launch the third PFS3 partition because it just doesn't feel like it. So I had to nuke the partition with no keyboard, by the way, WinUAE. So first I unpacked the image. Now I'm copying all the WHD loads that were on the PFS3 partition, and I reformatted this with FFS, and then it works. And then I'm going to copy it back and then rename the partition, and hopefully it'll be all sorted. However, the owner doesn't have a power supply, so I went through and refurbished a power supply just because I'm so freaking cool. The 5-volt rail, 501. That's as close as 5 as I can get it. This at 13.3. It's only 1.3 volts over 12, and once I start hitting it, it does drop. We got all new big caps in the back. I don't have this 200 volt 150 UF booger, and but we're good. It's gonna last for a while. The coil's good. The transformer's like brand new. Both of them, the 5 and the 12, and all in all, it looks okay. There's no crazy reefas in there. Everything's heat synced. Everything has proper goop and glue back on it, and it's all good. It's now 5:46 p.m. on Saturday. I said I was going to get a lot of repairs done, and I've been furiating all day. Great. I did it throwing a Taco Bell for the kid. And I went to Subway for Mona and myself. Ate a tuna. Not a tuna sub. Tuna salad sub. I don't know if you have those where you live, but here in America, where Jesus lives, we have them. Alright, let's turn this turd off. So now that power supply is good, I can give that to the user, because I have a couple of them. I don't mind sharing, but you know, I do what I can to help others. I hope you guys know that. Oh god, oh shit, I forgot to stop the camera. Hi! Okay, because the Furia is so picky, normally you would have a compact flash type L adapter. I was going to use my original one, which looks like this, but the Furia is in the way, so I couldn't use that. The owner provided this Chinesium one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the Thailand tuck, and that is basically a fold here to have it, you know, go to the left, come down, and then I'm just going to fold it back over. A, I got to keep it away from the Furia. B, I got to keep it away from the keyboard. So I'm going to stab a piece of hot glue underneath it here to keep the Thailand tuck in place. Don't Google that word. Well, it's 6:38 p.m. and we are just to the H's. Boring. See you in a while. It's 9:50 p.m. This has been running since the last time we checked a while ago. And the card now has a checksum error. Hey, great. How far did we get? I don't know. Abort. 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 We got to M. It's a freaking M. Really? I mean, really? Oh, God damn it. See the kind of crap you gotta go through, even virtually. Let me fix this. And we're starting all over. I'm writing the Zeb WHD load image, which I'll have to nuke. At least I can do it all on here right now. Hardware-wise, I'm done. Repair-wise, I'm done. The recap's done. The Furia works. The customized software that the user would like. Normally I don't even do this. I'm just trying to help a brother out. Another weekend shot. I can't work on these during the week because of my jobs. I'm trying to edit right now while this was copying. Then I saw something happen. I figured I'd check on it and give you guys a status update. Which sucks because it broke. Hi, welcome to Sunday afternoon at 3:12 p.m. I have been working on this software-wise all weekend. The Furia is super picky with memory cards. I was only provided one memory card. I use my memory card and it doesn't like it either. I can get it to work base, but when I start to try to do a larger partition, 3.1, PFS3, can't read it. Can read the small ones, but it doesn't like this setup. Maybe it's some way how the Furia interacts with the IDE controller. Don't know. So what I've been doing is nuking the larger PFS3 partition, recreating a standard size partition, and then sticking it back in WinUAE, copying the WHD load folder over, and then it fails, or gives me a CRC error, and then I put it back in here and I just guru, or there, and guru endlessly. So I've been writing the image over and repeating this process. That's what this is doing with the RPI Imager. I just use RPI Imager to image whatever .img file, HD whatever file, to write it to a memory card. It's just my standard go-to Win32 disk imager. They all do the same thing, so that's what I use. There you go. You got a mouse, you got a power supply. The Furia for a greatly reduced price. Owner's memory card and owner's board. It's 5:13 and I'm done. The longest part was copying all the WHD load crap. I'm using Tiny Launcher. It's a much simpler interface for WHD load than the iGame, and you know, while iGame works fine, this doesn't have any overhead, and Tiny Launcher, it's configurable by a mouse or your keyboard. You simply launch Tiny Launcher, go to the sysconfig, and tell it where your WHD load directory is. Then you press F1 to scan. Okay, so I just put the Furia in, or the card in. It booted a lot better. I got the owner's original 2.0 ROM here. Software disks with the Furia, workbench disks. And we got Tiny Launcher on here. Now, I put my belly slot 2 meg chip RAM in here off my 600 just to give it 2 megs of chip RAM. You can see right here. A lot of this problems can be solved by getting a 90-degree adapter. This is a long cable folded over to a Chinesium with a questionable memory card on this machine. I tried Lexar, I tried SanDisk, I tried on-brand. Nothing really matters because it hates everything. But when you get one that works, you just leave it be. That's why I'm providing the OS disk so the user can go through this hell on their own in the future. So when you get this, pop this out, throw it in Win32 Disk Imager when you get home there, and make an image of this card. So you have something to go off of when this pisses you off, more than life itself. So that is about all I got for this guy. I am done with the Furia, thank goodness, and its curse can be passed on to the next owner. Okay, so we're good to go. I can't press F10. This thing's getting all wrapped up. Good luck, Mr. James. I hate this thing, and I hope you enjoy it and don't hate it as much as me. From other Furia owners around the world, we wish you the best. Thank you guys for coming along on this hopefully not too long of a journey. It's been many weeks for me, mainly software. That's all I got for now. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Don't buy Furia.
know if I'm funny, you bastard?